So, what is up, humans and attack helicopters? Today I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going to go through a painting of mine, a pretty decent painting at that, and I will dissect the whole file and I will explain to you my step-by-step process and how I did it and what I did. So, let's jump into it. What I'm going to do first is show you the layers here. This is just my signature, and you'd think this much is the drawing, but honestly it isn't. It goes all the way to all these. So first let's remove all the post-processing and enable everything step by step. We'll also be talking about layer modes and how they might help you and when do you actually need them. So let's start with the line art, wherever I put it. This ain't it. So this is what's left of the line art. I'm sure if you have seen it in the step-by-step photo, but there was a whole line art here that basically outlined most of the features. But I seem to have erased it in the process. But let's go handle the other things here. So this is a mask of the hair. This is on just normal mode. And for the outfit, what I've done is first I've put a clothing texture over here. So even if I miss any tiny spots here, with my brush, I would have enough texture behind me to have some kind of an illusion of detail. So the clothy texturey thingy you see underneath all this is this thing. So once you've masked it out, you can just paint over that with different layer modes and you have the clothing. And for the face, I have a basic mask which will hold everything in place, any facial details, so when you paint outside of it, it won't do anything to it. Keep in mind you will not have to paint on this. This is a holder for all your other stuff. This is the first layer of shading, which is on normal. And what you can see I've done here is right click and then clipping mask. I have to undo that because everything is tied into that. Okay, so once you do that clipping mask thingy, if you paint outside of it, it won't matter. Let me show you real quick. So this is a brush. So if I take like this, see it's staying inside of it. It's not going out. So this is really important. You need to clip mask all your shadings so they stay in place. It'll be clean, it'll be professional, and you just have to detail the face once. You can do it with a pen tool or manually, however you want it. So after the first layer of shading, what I've done here is added secondary shading. Now, to keep in mind, this one is on multiply because I don't want to lose the details of this, because if I shade over this and this is on normal, this will paint over my existing shades and details and I will lose value however light it may be. So once you put it on multiply mode, it will draw over it. So it can't go lighter, it will only make things darker. So if you're doing shadows, this is the layer mode you need to do. It will just get on top of everything and make things darker. Another layer of multiply just to get that shade, and then what I've done here. This is also multiply for the eye detail because doing it in multiple layers, if I mess up, I can erase and then start back on that specific area. I don't have to rely on that one whole layer, so I'll just miss layers of details while I'm doing this. Does this even do anything? Oh yeah, this one is for the chin light. This is a reflective bounce light I've put. So this is set on hard light. I don't do color dodge because it burns out the whole thing. So keeping it on hard light does a subtle thingy that helps. After that, we have More multiply. This is for the ears and the root of the head. So finalizing all the details. And what else do we have? This one is for the chin area. Made it lighter, gave it that highlight. This is on normal. This one is for the edge of the clothing. I gave it all the way up here and not with the clothing because I have my skin layer on top, so if I do it there, it will just go under it. So I need it over the skin. This is why after I was done finishing the skin stuff, I put it on top of that one. This is highlights. This is the thing that makes everything pop. So over the nose here and over the eyelids, in the corner, over here, every place that has highlights, this covers it. I did a little bit of highlight on the first pass in here, but this one is like just a rough start, and this is more proper, and this one is also on normal. And lips, I had to take a couple layers, just like I did the whole skin, I did the lips like that as well. I put a mask, and then I put shadows, and then I put highlights on top of it, but then what I did was I had to merge it all down because in my initial version, the lip was like kind of around here, like around this place, so it wasn't proportional, and I was aware, and I didn't fix it because of all those layer modes, and I'd have to change. So what I did was I merged them all down once I was done, and then I moved it in place. So this is actually where it actually was, and this is the current. So as you can see the difference, I had to move it all the way here, and I kept that one as backup just in case I need it. This is the white of the eye, nothing special. So over here I covered all the blacks because in realism we don't have any lines. It's all just different shades of stuff. But in certain areas there are pure blacks, like the eye lines, the eyelids, the nostrils, the eyebrows. They are actual black, and the hair. So I cover that in one layer just to get it out of the way. Eyeshadow, eyelid, the whatever's left of the line art. Another tip for line art, once you're done lining, you can color it. See, since my line art is red here, it doesn't really make a difference. Like, it doesn't show up, it doesn't look comic-y, but instead if I make it pure black, I don't know why, but the color fill option lags a bit. Okay, so once I fill it with black, is it the right layer? Oh, never mind. Which one was it? This isn't, this isn't, this is. Okay, so let me show you. If I fill it with black, instantly you can tell, oh, there's a line over here. Right, there are lines around this place. This isn't a realism drawing, this is line drawing. But once you change the color, suddenly it's not that in your face. So it's easy to blend it out eventually once you're done with all the layering stages. After that, we have freckles. So for this, I have a lowish brush I use from the free DeviantArt preset. It goes something like, which layer I'm on. It goes something like this. Very simple stuff. Why does it go back to? So this one is not even clipped. I should have done that, but you don't really have to if you know what you're doing. You just erase out the borders. So this one is set to multiply, and something I did here was, let me take a new layer and show you. So if you put it like this, in normal angles, if it's a straight angle, this is fine, but the face is coming down from, the plane is like this. So what I did was I put it on Control T, which is transform, control, and then dragged it around like this. So it establishes a plane. So this matches more of the general slide the face is going towards. So this will make a huge difference. I don't know. This will make it look like those things are actually on it and not just something overlaid on top of the face, which is kind of important. So this is why you see these angles, and the way these are in one direction, these are on another one. And always kept it on multiply, and don't worry about opacity. If it seems too intrusive, you can always just lower it down and it'll blend in. So what is the about a new keyboard, and I can't find the delete button. Okay, found it. So this one you see is on 79 opacity, so you have to play around with it till it fits. And then the next layer, this is something I discovered while doing this one. So I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it right, but there's a guy on Instagram called Irakli. So he does these amazing portraits, and I've noticed in his face there are freaking pores. So I was like, how does he do it? How does he emulate the bump? I don't know his official process, but what I did was, like, I took a general skin tone and then I manually put the highlight all over wherever the freckle shadows are. So they turned it into bumps instead. We do still have general freckles, but those bumps do make it a bit realistic, and I've put the opacity to 92%. But I think mine's a bit in your face, but once you zoom out, it's barely there. But you can tell, like, there is a level of detail, but not that in your face. So no one has to look that deep into it. Next we have, yes. So first thing you gotta do is obviously do the masking for the hair first. So this thing is a holder for like all the normal borders for your hair. This will hold things in place, and then you can clip on top of it, and then you can put hair details on that so that it doesn't go out of the place of your hair area. Once that's done, you can take another layer, and like, I think that one was merged down, but you get the general idea. You take more stuff out of it. You let those hair loose free and stuff so that they can be expressive and everything. And yeah, another bit of additional highlight over here, what I've done is I'm starting to go over the line arts, and I've put detail under the eye and especially the nose area. You can see the line art is no longer here. I have painted over it and put some additional highlights to polish it up. Over here we have the root of the hair. So since to make it look less unrealistic, so just some extra line of detail here and more shine to the hair. These are all normal mode, that's fine, it's chill. And then I've added a little multiply layer to counter the blandness. Like, this is all plain highlights. The hair isn't like that. Light doesn't hit just in one specific, like all places at once. It'll just hit in the areas where there are bumps. So I've multiplied the layer and then took some stuff out of it. So yeah, all that takes us to here. So current issues we have is the face border is all jaggedy. It's not as well done. And then we have some, this is like, the photograph was like, this area was sort of blurry because the focus was over here. So what I'm gonna do is take all of this and then merge them down. And then what I've done is I've taken, like, duplicated that layer, put this half on blur, and then I've erased the part where it was all blurry, and then under this layer, like, let me go back, and then you take the layer, okay, and then you merge, make a duplicate layer, and then you blur that whole layer, and then you remove half the blur. So now you have this, and then on this layer, what I've done is I've smoothed out this part with a soft brush so it doesn't look so edgy and unrealistic. Over here I've subtled the shading some more. Over here I fixed the chin by cropping it down and then mixing it again. These are all just big changes you wouldn't be able to do once you're that invested in all those layers. So once it's all merged down, you can do whatever you want. It's just another drawing now. And over here what I've done is I've used the level tool you see with Control L, and you can just adjust it the way you want here. So I've just added a little bit more light because the way I see it in my screen, it won't be the same for everyone else, so you can compare, but generally it's good to keep a good contrast. And then on top of that, I've added some more freckles because mine were pretty hidden with all those new bumps. And this is another multiply layer I've used to add some shadow in this place so it doesn't all look flat. And this is, as you can see, I've added this whole eye area. I've added some little more subtlety to it. And on the final layer, we've fixed the cheek highlight a bit because it felt a little bit too straight line for me. And then we have the signature. So I hope I've been able to share my process, like you've understood what I was trying to say. I don't really usually do these. I just record, put a music on it, and just throw it out there. But since I didn't record this one, I thought that I could still use the project to make content. So that was it. I hope you've learned something about layer modes, especially multiply and then hard light. And I hope you've learned about the clipping and how to hold those things in place so you don't just draw stuff and then things go all over the place. Plus, if you work professionally, clients will want PSD files with all those layers in them. So if they literally want, like, say, want the skin to be green, you can just go back to that main layer and then change it to green. So any kind of change at any time is possible. I can change the hair, just take it out there. It's all there. I'll just have to take away the post-processing, and in this group 1, I have everything I need, just editable. I can change the dress, anything you want. So I hope that helps your workflow. I hope that you've learned a few new things and understand my process a bit more now. And overall, this took me a whole day of work, and in between I've played games, I had lunch, I did other stuff work related. So overall, I'd say it took like 5 to 6 hours, maybe 7. So it wasn't really that long. People work on stuff for longer. I'm usually pretty quick with these, a couple hours, but I wanted to go the extra mile for this one, so I have it like this. It's 17 minutes in. Okay, hope you enjoyed it, and let me know if you want more stuff like this so I can explain future projects better with tackling different subjects and different techniques. This is just a portrait. I do all kinds of stuff, so if you want line art tips or stuff, I can do that too, or just post plain timelines. Let me know in the comments, and I appreciate all the support you show me throughout my pages and stuff, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.